Hey guys, Fabi here. Welcome to another edition of Fabi at Home. Well, recently there are two movies I love a lot: cartoons and comedies. I also like family movies a lot. And what better way is there than to combine both animation and live action? This movie did it several times, but the reason when they did it that it worked out so well was because of how they did it. So what are they? Well, here are my top 10 favorite ones. Pete's Dragon. God, I'm already upset enough that Disney is going to remake Mary Poppins. But at least I think I could have said that if Pete's Dragon had been remade maybe as a musical, it would have had a chance. Heck, I'd even say that Pete's Dragon could do good as a live action stage show. Anyway, this movie is awesome. It exploring the adventures of a young boy and his dragon, but it's also really admire it for how well the side story is. There's nothing I can't like about it. I really enjoy it and will see it any time. Space Jam. So I might consider this one a little bit of a guilty pleasure. Seeing Michael Jordan play the basketball with the Looney Tunes is definitely worth the price of admission. It was also really good to see cameos from such comedians as Bill Murray, Dan Castellaneta, Wayne Knight, and the voice of Danny DeVito. It's also as well as a cameo by several real-life basketball greats such as Muggsy Bogues, Charles Barkley, and Larry Bird. This is a great movie and I recommend it any time. Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree. I love Winnie the Pooh, and it's nice about what a cute story this one is. The animation scenes did a good segment. And the way it shows what the live action room of Christopher Robin would be is that much greater things. I mean, even though I think this probably will never have a live action release of it, I think it would be a good idea to do something good. I also really like the voices such as John Fielder and Jim Cummings as the voices of characters such as Pooh, Piglet, and Tigger. Really good, and I'll see it. The Incredible Mr. Limpet. Years before Finding Nemo was released, Don Knotts made this movie about a man who ventures to be a fish. And while that kind of sounds stupid and cheesy, it really is kind of a funny movie. They do good at animating what Don Knotts would be like as a fish, and the music in it is wonderful as well. It's really the only kind of film that somebody like Don Knotts could make. It was interesting is that Don Knotts, though he did have a good time, did not consider himself a singer. It's also really good at how animation and live action fit real well into this one. Then we got
it seems like every pick we're on,
Cool World. Man, if most people consider this, if they for this at all, a sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And if we're not going to get one, I'm fine with it as a sequel. It's really good and works well there. It has Brad Pitt in one of his finest roles, playing a cop who ends up getting flaunted by this woman named Hollywood, who ends up actually falling for the creator. It's really also good at like making a human version of like what Hollywood looks like and becoming at a good time how it happened. If you hadn't heard of this movie, check it out. It is really good.
We'll give the consumer.
Next one, we got Monkey Bone. This one, when Brendan Fraser was still acting, he could afford to make a flop, but this movie was awesome. And this one, our protagonist, Stu Miley, is somebody who ends up wanting to be a cartoonist who has this good idea to bring a character named Monkey Bone to the TV. But while this happens, he goes into a coma and ends up in purgatory and needs a pass to go over. And then the cartoon version of Monkey Bone jumps into his body and takes over, resulting in crazy adventures. It was really a zany comedy, and it's totally worth checking out. Looney Tunes Back in Action. Continuing the Looney Tunes franchise, we got this one. In this one, Brendan Fraser plays a guy named DJ Drake, who is the son of like an adventurer named DJ Drake, and now like his son Damien ends up going on the studio executive played by Jenna Elfman. The four of them go on adventures through Las Vegas, Paris, and like even the desert, and this is really an awesome movie. The S'mores movies. I know a lot of people will like go against me for saying this, but I think these movies are awesome. Not only does like the second one have good cameos by Sofia Vergara and and Neil Patrick Harris, but it also has a good cast. The second, it's a really good adventure in it, and so and what would happen if the S'mores go into the real world and succeeds at doing it. The second one's also really good because it gives more fed a movie where she's the protagonist and does a good job at it. Plus, it also introduces us to Jacob Tremblay. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Man, this movie is one of the best ones I've seen of all time, and it was still a favorite of mine even as a kid. I really am sad that because of the death of Bob Hoskins, we won't get a sequel. Though, I do think, though, that like they could do a one with the animated piece. It's really an awesome movie, and seeing the scenes of Eddie like combining like with the most annoying rabbit in the real world is great. Really enjoyed it. And my top pick is Mary Poppins. I love Mary Poppins. I loved it so much as a kid, and when seeing it last year, I found out I enjoy it more as an adult. Unfortunately, I couldn't be in the play, but even practice scenes for it, I had a super califragilistic, wonderful good time doing it. It's a really good movie, and there's no reason not to like it. It's an awesome movie, and it still holds up. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Arrivederci.